sirs.
Good afternoon, Garima. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And you are to come here from which part of Delhi?
Sir, North Delhi. North
Okay.
Campus area.
Okay. What brings you to North Campus area?
Sir, I like the vibe of North Campus area, basically the environment there.
Right.
Also, I have lived in North Campus for 3 years during my graduation life.
Yeah.
That is why.
Great. I want to combine English literature with your hobby of reading fiction.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what have you read and particularly liked.
Sir, English literature was my graduation, and from that only I have developed my hobby of reading fiction. I've read Jane Austen. I like to read Jane Austen, the major portion. Also, I like to read contemporary writers, for example, Colleen Hoover. These some I read.
What are new trends in literary critique?
Okay. So can I take few moments?
You can, yeah.
Yes. So new trends is the focus on modern age literature, and since I am reading Colleen Hoover's book, I come to realize that they are focusing more on modern social related issues, and this is what I think. And
is the word that is used, is it modern or is it actually postmodern?
okay, yes sir, it is postmodern.
Hmm.
Yes sir.
And what sets postmodern apart from modern?
Sorry sir, I don't think so I'll be able to answer this.
Okay.
Yes sir.
In literature, as in many other fields,
Yes sir.
there is quite often this debate about decent and indecent.
Yes sir.
Some of the best fiction works were banned because they were at that point of time found indecent.
Yes sir.
You remember some such works?
Sir, I don't remember that, but currently we are also facing criticism. There's a criticism regarding Ralph book, who writes children novels. So maybe this is one of it, but in the older
How
times,
are you pronouncing that name?
sir, I think I'm not pronouncing it right. I think it's Rolf or
Dahl.
Rolf.
Roald,
Dahl.
Roald, not fur.
Okay.
R-O-A-L-D.
Okay. Sir.
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl. Sorry, sir. I am.
But his fiction work has not come into discussion on account of decency or indecency.
Yes, sir.
That is more being discussed.
In terms of
Racism,
yes, sir.
slurs,
Sexual orientations
etc.
and
No,
other.
I am pointing at so-called indecent literature.
Sir, sorry, I'm not sure about it.
Somewhere during your study of English literature, you must have had D.H. Lawrence to study.
Yes, sir.
Which novel?
Sir, Sons and Lovers
Yeah.
was a book written by D.H. Lawrence.
But you are expected to know that he is actually more known for another novel.
So, sorry, sir. This was in my curriculum, so I only read Sons and Lovers.
You didn't get to hear about Lady Chatterley's Lover?
No, sir. I'm really sorry. I am not aware of this novel.
Okay. I hope to come back to that after a while, but of course all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Now let us please continue with this.
Garima,
Yes, sir.
who's Udham Singh?
Sir, Udham Singh was a person who has assassinated Michael O'Dyer, who was the governor in Punjab during Jallianwala Bagh
Okay.
massacre.
The Supreme Court has just given a decision that we can't possibly allocate 50% of the seats for NDA for women. What is your take on it?
Sorry, sir.
The Supreme Court
Yes.
has said that it would not be fair to allocate 50% of the seats for girls in NDA.
Okay, sir.
What's your take on it?
Sir, I believe the Supreme Court must have decided on basis of various considerations which are important and requirements which are important in the NDA. However, I believe that if we are moving towards progressive society where we look for social equality and even the equality in terms of army and NDA, I think
Are you a Kumauni or have you settled in Udham Singh Nagar?
Sir, I have settled in. I was born in Bareilly, but then my father got transferred
Okay.
here.
How do you see Taliban treating women?
So the Taliban has been treating women, there has been a gross violation of women's rights in Taliban. They are not given proper rights to education, they are not allowed to go to schools and pursue further education and move into the public places. So I believe that it is a gross violation for women's rights.
You've seen women in Pakistan
I'm not seen, sir.
on televisions or anywhere else generally?
Yes, sir.
Or you hear them speak on various platforms?
Yes, sir, I've seen.
Do you
sir.
see a hypocrisy in Pakistan when it comes to women and their support for Taliban?
Yes, sir, we can agree to that because women in Pakistan also are more leading the lives of domestic women and not much open in public spheres in terms of education, in terms of politics, in terms of social spheres. So yes, we can see a hypocrisy in that.
How much of oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the exact. I'm really sorry.
Why were we more interested in building Chabar Fort?
So there were certain reasons. One was to strengthen our ties with Iran, and also for the easy transportation because we don't have a proper land boundary with Russia and Central Asia. So that was seen as a point where we can transport and we can bypass Pakistan for that.
And we didn't have Afghanistan in view?
Yes, sir, we have. To bypass Pakistan from between, we had Afghanistan, Russia.
Have you heard of Hambantota?
Yes, sir.
In what context?
So Sri Lankan port,
In
which was taken over by China on lease. This is only what I'm aware of.
How many years lease has China taken?
Sir, can I make a guess?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Is it 99 years?
99 years lease. How many islands in Andaman and Nicobar have been named after the Paramveer Chakra winners?
So sorry, sir, I'm not aware. I'll read about
Are you
it.
aware that some islands have been named after Paramveer Chakra winners in Andaman and Nicobar?
Yes, sir, I am, but I'm not exactly aware about the names and number of them. I'm really sorry. For that.
My last question to you, how do you see our relations with Iran?
Sir, I see that we are strengthening our relations with Iran in terms of building Chabahar port and other relations. However, we need to focus more on bilateral issues and more on communication and talks with them in dialogues. This is what I can recall right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Garima, who was K.R. Narayanan?
Sir, he is an Indian author who has written novels. Sir, Indian author. Sorry, I am really sorry. I think I have missed with R.K. Narayan. I am really sorry.
KRS.
I apologize. I'm sorry, sir.
Who was K.R. Narayanan?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not aware.
You are not aware. Good. You were explaining about, modern English literature, etc. to chairman. So, one term which came to my mind was, what is new literature in English?
Sir, is it more about new fictions and postmodernist literature and fiction focusing on autobiography? I'm not sure.
You are asking me a question.
No, sir, I'm not sure about it.
Okay, not an issue. Who was Pelham Grenville Woodhouse? Okay, summarizing the name for you, maybe it will click. P.G. Woodhouse.
I'm not sure. Can I make a guess?
Sure.
Is he a poet? I'm not sure.
No. Then you have not heard about him.
Yes, sir. I'm not.
Surprising. He was a great humorist of 20th century.
Okay, sir.
And actually he was the creator of a character called Jeeves.
Okay,
And our generation, of course, has, you know, it was like, you know, basically a salad
Thank
for
you,
us, you know. What was UP sand mining scandal?
I am not completely aware about it even.
You heard something about a IAS officer, young IAS officer from UP called Durga Shakti Nagpal.
Yes, sir. I've heard.
What she became famous for, why she was in news?
Because she caught a scandal and a scam that was related to mining itself, corruption basically.
Which mining? Coal mining?
So sand mining.
That's what I was pointing out. What was the recent controversy about movie Pathan?
Sir, it was seen that movie Pathan controversy was related to a song that was, if I'm allowed, I can take a name for that. That was a song Besharam Rang. It was main on that because it was seen that the heroine and the protagonist was wearing a saffron color in that song. So that was a controversy all about. So it took on to a religious form and a political form.
UP bulldozer action, which is, you know, run by the UP government.
Yes, sir.
Protagonist is the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Someone in judiciary said about it that it is a mockery of the constitution and the fundamental rights.
Yes, sir.
What are your views?
So the bulldozer technique, I believe it is not good in a sense that it hampers and it infringes the fundamental right and the right to livelihood of a person whose houses are being demolished because of bulldozing. So I think that for preserving the rights of the people and their livelihoods and their right to have a Article 21, which is right to personal liberty in life, I believe that it should be preserved in a manner that such forceful things should not be there.
That is your well considered view?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Garima. Garima, have you ever visited your place of birth, Bareilly?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen that jhumka which fell into market?
So yes, it was recently inaugurated, but I have not seen because it's been more than 2-3 years that I have visited Bareilly.
She's
Yes.
only eaten Bareilly ki barfi.
Yes, sir. There's a movie also with Bareilly ki barfi.
Okay, but there is a good proverb in Hindi called Ulte Baas Bareilly Ko. What do you mean by that proverb?
Sir, Ulte?
Ulte Baas Bareilly Ko.
Sir, if I'm allowed, can I make a guess?
Yes,
I
yes.
think it's about the bamboos and the production, and it is famous for bamboo production, Bareilly. So this is what I believe. Bamboo works, bamboo furniture.
No, but meaning, what is the meaning of this muhavra? Ulte Baas Bareilly Ko.
Sir, I'm not aware about this muhavra. This is, I think it is in relation to the bamboo production, not more than that.
Okay. You have taken sociology as your optional subject,
Yes, sir.
right? Gives a sort of legitimacy to live-in relationships.
So, live-in relationships are the evolving relationships and a changing form of marriages in terms of sociology if we look. So I believe that it is a right of a person to marry according to his or her own choice and right to live with that person. So this is what I believe, that since we have been there has been rulings that live-in relationships are getting legitimized. So I believe that it is because of the person's fundamental right of choosing his or her partner and right to marry.
Garima, what would happen if I demand
Yes,
that
sir.
all live-in relationships should be registered and there should be provisions for coming out of relationship? Everything should be laid down in black and white.
Yes, sir.
What would happen? Would it be good? Would it not be good? What would happen?
Sir, certainly if there are provisions and everything would be in black and white, there would be proper provisions for coming out and living into a relationship, and that would also prevent the crimes that have been happening recently. It's more about one partner has killed another. So yes, it would bring more transparency in terms of focusing on live-in relationships, and there would be rights for the women as well who are in the live-in relationships.
Then why we are not adopting such a system?
Sir, because I believe that it would require a consensus of all, and it would require a proper committee. We can also appoint a committee who is able to consider all the opinions and all the stakeholders that are involved in that.
Okay. Is it not common in some of the Western countries?
Yes, sir. It is believed that it is a Western notion, and we are adopting that.
And is there a system of registration there?
In that sense, sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Okay. All right. Garima, tell me what are the advantages or disadvantages of having a joint family over a nuclear family?
Yes, sir. So, joint family definitely has various advantages in terms of cultures, in terms of there's more of a social and moral integration and regulation in joint family. Along with that, the people are more connected to each other. They are not only dependent on technology and other. For example, if the child is born in a joint family, he would have many people to be in terms of grandmother or other aunts and uncles to care for them. Whereas in nuclear family, we morely rely on midwives and auxiliary nurses. So I believe that joint family is definitely a cultural and a social tradition of India. And however, we have been seeing that there has been a disintegration of joint family, and we are moving towards nuclear family. It is to cater our livelihood needs, and since people are moving towards urban areas, and to meet the needs of that, I believe this is all.
Does this system of family, which I just
Yes, sir.
discussed, joint family system, nuclear family system,
Yes, sir.
have any impact on social health of individuals? Social health, mind the words.
Yes, sir. Sir, in terms of nuclear family, our social health is not with respect to much regulation and much integration within the family, and so it can have more chances of suicide, as the Durkheim has given his theory that less of social integration and more of social integration both can lead to suicides. So this can also be a negative impact on the social life and social health. Whereas in joint family, a person has chances of communication, interaction with their parents, and transfer of cultures and traditions from the older generations, and will have to learn more about it. So there's a proper healthy social environment, I believe.
Okay. Who was Bipin Rawat?
So he was our former Chief of Defence Staff, and who has recently died.
Who is our present Chief of Defence Staff?
So right now we don't have any Chief of Defence Staff.
Should be checked. Okay. Who is Chief Minister of Sikkim?
Sorry, sir, I cannot recall the name.
Okay, you need not recall the name. Tell me, Chief Minister of Sikkim decides to meet Chief Ministers of all northeastern states in their capitals.
Yes, sir.
Where will he go and how we will go?
So for that we have a Northeastern Council, and we all
meets in their capital.
Okay.
I know that there is Northeastern Council and he will just shake hands in around the tables.
Yes,
he
sir.
wants to meet there in their capitals.
Yes, sir. Sir, is it about telling Sikkim's capital?
No. Chief Minister of Sikkim wants to meet Chief Minister of all other northeastern states.
Of every northeastern state in their capitals.
Capital.
How will
Where
he
will
go?
and how will he go?
Start the road journey from Gangtok.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Sir, I have never visited to Northeastern, so I won't be able to do justice with respect to this question.
Okay, all the best, Garima. All the best.
Hello, Garima, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Garima, how do you pronounce the name of your school?
Sir, it is RAN Public School.
Run?
Sir, RAN.
RAN?
Yes, sir.
Stands for some name?
Yes, sir. It is the name of our chairman, Rai Amarnath ji.
Oh, okay, that.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering how you word this name.
Yes, sir.
But speaking of run, where is the run of Kutch?
Sir, Gujarat.
What is the issue between India and Pakistan around the run of Kutch?
Sir, in my limited knowledge, there's no coherence over the line boundary around Gujarat, and there's also a problem of water management, water bodies line. I'm not completely aware about this.
Heard of a place called Sir Creek?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. Sir Creek is a region where we have.
Now could you kind of elaborate if you want to?
Sorry, sir.
Or you said what?
I don't have any.
Where in Gujarat would you find the flamingo city?
Not aware, sir.
Let's come to some other birds. There are two authors, both of who have written on a bird called the skylark.
Okay, sir.
You read English literature.
Yes, sir. Sir, I've not read it.
To a Skylark by Shelley.
So
To
is-
The Skylark by Wordsworth.
Okay, so they're the poets.
Huh.
Sorry, sir. I have not
So-
read those poems, but yes, I'm aware about P.B. Shelley and Wordsworth, who are more into writing about nature.
Who was Somerset Maugham?
Yes, sir.
Somerset Maugham.
Sir, I'm not aware.
Not heard the name. Doesn't matter. Can you name? You mentioned, of course, R.K. Narayan, but can you mention three other Indian writers in English?
Yes, sir. Sir Amitav Ghosh and Anita Desai and Sudha Murthy ji.
Okay. Have you heard of a lady called Kamala Surakai
No, sir.
or Kamala Das?
Yes, sir. I've heard about Kamala Das. She's a feminist, I believe, and she writes about feminist. I'm not sure.
But you did literature, isn't it? I mean, I thought that was your subject in graduation.
Yes, sir. It was my subject in graduation, but since I changed my subject and my optional is sociology, and also I completed my graduation
Okay,
in
let's
2020.
come to sociology.
Yes, sir.
I can understand people protesting against child marriage,
Yes, sir.
but I can't understand people protesting against action taken to stop child marriages. Why is that happening?
Sir, it is because the reason lies in the social system itself. We don't have a much awareness about the problems of child marriages, and so we respond to punitive actions for that. And despite having a law for that, we still not.
So, aren't any infringers of the law to be punished?
So, child marriage in India is voidable. It is not void. So, I believe that this is one of the reasons that they are not punished, because the law says that the child, when a child obtains his or her maturity age, he or she can declare their marriage void
So,
if they want to.
Garima, as a district collector in Assam,
Yes, sir.
would stop this action against people who have done, indulgent child marriages?
Sir, I think the problem lies with the behavioral mindset. So the main focus should be on changing the behavior and changing the social attitude.
What action would you take?
So I will definitely like to stop the child marriage and would not
People who
resort.
have done child marriages already, unka kya karenge?
Sir, for that I like to talk to the people who are who have done child
What
marriage.
is POXO?
Sir, it is the Prevention of Child Sexual Abuse Act.
So, girls under the age of 18,
Yes, sir.
even within the realm of wedding, marriage,
Yes, sir.
aren't those activities covered under POXO?
Sir, I don't think so. It is covered. I'm not sure.
You had a good discussion with Sir on live-in relations.
Yes, sir.
But I want to ask a larger question to you. Is the whole institution of marriage under some kind of a threat now?
Sir, I don't completely agree to it because the marriage as a system is not changing. It is still present in the Indian society. However, the forms of marriages are changing. It can be live-in relationships or same-sex marriages, but the entire structure of marriage is not deteriorating and it's not disintegrating.
No, but then the whole thing is gone. I thought these were the negative attributes which were actually casting a doubt on the institution of marriage as we understood it.
Sir,
I thought in the natural courses a man and woman get married.
Sir, it is a I believe that it is a conservative definition of family that a man and a woman has to get married. So I believe that marriage is more of a choice and a personal decision, which it should not only include man and woman getting married. Yes, there is a function of marriage that is reproduction, and that should involve man and woman. But we cannot disagree to the growing, changing forms of marriage in terms of live-in and other forms.
So one must keep a broad mind and accept these as exciting alternatives. That's what you're saying.
So since we are moving towards a progressive society, and a progressive society demands gender and social equality in all terms, so I believe as a person of progressive society, we should, that is what I think, that we should not focus on punishing them, rather we should accept them with whole heart.
Okay. Thank you, Garima. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Your favorite serials?
So I like to watch sitcoms, and for example Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I also I've recently loved watching legal drama, which is Suits.
Which season are you watching?
So season 7.
So where is Donna now?
So Donna is the COO, Chief Operating Officer.
And Harvey?
Sir Harvey, he is the name partner.
They got married?
So no, sir.
Do you read Hindi?
Read? Sir, I don't read Hindi per se, but yes, sometimes if my parents give anything, I can read that.
But books, poems, etc.?
No, sir.
Why not?
So because, sir, I don't think so I have an answer to that.
Is that a social or cultural problem?
Sir, it is seen that it is a social and cultural problem that
Not seen, I am asking you.
So no, sir, it is not that.
Our own mother tongue,
Yes, sir.
we would rather read English
Yes, sir.
than Hindi.
Yes, sir. So yes, we should promote Hindi as a citizen of India, and since our constitution says that, we should promote Hindi. And yes, being a student of literature, I should have read Hindi literature as well.
There is a thing called Mission Shakti. You remember what it is?
Sir, it is for the women after Nirbhaya case, I think.
No.
Okay.
There is a program for women which has the name Shakti,
Okay.
but a specific Mission Shakti is a different context.
Okay, sir. Sir, I'm not aware of Mission Shakti. I'll read about it.
Okay. Is it always good to have last interview before lunch with Narulas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Go out and then just come back.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
sir.
Come in, Garima, of course, take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Broadly, basically, we have enjoyed the interview. I hope you have enjoyed giving the interview.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
For a moment, we would like to hear your own self-analysis.
So, my content and my knowledge was lacking about English literature, being my graduation subject.
But you would use the word lacking?
Yes, sir.
Achha. And as to the interview technique or overall, if you can look at yourself as a third person, which you will when you see the video, of course,
Yes, sir.
how would you assess your own performance?
Sir, I think I was confident.
I didn't catch that last word.
I was confident.
You are confident, right? Excellent.
And I was cheerful.
And yes,
And I was lacking at content and
some
knowledge.
English literature for a while.
Yes, sir.
But from here till 27th,
Yes, sir.
based on this experience,
Yes, sir.
what are the things you will work on?
Sir, I will work on English literature, which is the main thing. Along with that, I will have to read sociology as well. I'll have to brush up with the ideas of sociology and yes, current affairs
Correct.
and international relations.
Yeah. So, one word summary is focusing on current.
Okay, sir.
I am going to discuss with you couple of issues,
Yes, sir.
hoping you are not as hungry as we are.
No, sir, definitely.
And I picked up the last reference to Narula.
Yes, sir.
I have begun to smell.
He is only hungry
Yeah.
to IAS.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, yes, once the panel sees reference to English literature on your DAF, someone on the panel may have high expectations of an enlightened discussion on literature.
Okay, sir.
And that in order to do our duty, we need to tell you that today it was not up to the mark.
Yes, sir.
Leaving us also to wonder as to what is in the syllabus of BA English Literature with DU.
Okay, sir.
Like if you don't know Somerset Maugham, P.G. Wodehouse, he is like all-time greatest. Or there was also a third name. Or even when the names of Shelley and Wordsworth come up, your face did not light up.
Yes, sir.
You must have studied English poetry
Yes, sir.
defined in different ages.
Yes, sir.
So the romanticist and nothing, nothing on your face when he mentions Shelley and Wordsworth.
Yes, sir.
So doesn't the very name release some poems in your brain?
Sir, it should have, but considering my lacking in knowledge of my syllabus.
Was Shelley in the syllabus?
Yes, sir.
Wordsworth?
Yes, sir.
There can't be English literature without Wordsworth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree. Yes,
It is, I need to add to your information, Wordsworth without, English literature without Wordsworth is like Hindi literature without Tulsidas.
sir. Yes, sir.
Now don't tell me who was Tulsidas. Don't ask me who was who was Tulsidas. I have done that cultural role towards the end, and take it cheerfully. Don't worry.
Yes.
I wonder. I'm sensing you beginning to get worried.
No, sir.
Then we will be worried,
Not at all.
because
sir.
this feedback is not meant for worrying. It is meant for cheering up,
Yes, sir.
getting more happy,
Yes, sir.
and coming out with better than best on 27th of March.
Yes.
Your cheerfulness and confidence are your strong suits.
Yeah.
But on rest of the suits also, we have to make you
Yes.
strong.
Yeah.
That's why the
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are greats, I must tell you, PG. It's not about just a generation.
Yes, sir.
That during our P.G. Wodehouse is not for just one generation, he is among all-time greats. So also Somerset Maugham. And the names may continue. Who knows? Oscar Wilde,
Yes, sir.
is he there somewhere in
Yes.
your syllabus?
Yes, sir.
Hemingway?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank God. And among women literate, Emily Bronte?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What happens is whenever we start any discussion on English literature, especially girls, the only name they mention is Jane Austen.
Yes, sir.
She is great. There is no doubt about Jane Austen is simply great and all time, like
Yes, sir.
she has universal appeal.
Yes, sir.
So one part is English.
Yes.
Second, like I said, 3 or 4 examples will be around the core point of getting supremely update on current. Actually, on that question of K.R. Narayanan, clean, bold.
Yes, sir.
Cricketing terminology is our favorite terminology. So, you completely misjudged the delivery,
Yes, sir.
and the ball found gap between bat and pad, and you are clean, bold.
Yes, sir.
Actually, the moment he mentioned the word sitting here, I had to hold back my laugh. I felt like laughing loudly, but I held it back because even that laughter would give you a hint. Actually, it is the test of alertness of your mind.
Yes, sir.
It just instead of R.K. Narayan, it is K.R. Narayan.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
any UPSC aspirant is expected to know even K.R. Narayan.
Yes, sir.
So, 10 seconds. Do you still remember him?
Now
No,
he had a Burmese wife. If I can know so much that he has a Burmese wife.
That you remember. No, you, I am saying.
Now tell it, he is the President of India.
K.R. Narayanan was officer from Indian Foreign Service.
Okay.
Later on joined politics. Went on to be India's president.
Yes. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How can a UPSC aspirant?
Yes, sir.
You must go through all the names of the presidents and prime ministers at least.
Yes, sir. Sorry,
Very nice man. Very fine.
I was completely blank on that.
I can understand. That's why I said a Burmese wife.
Yes.
Then on the discussion of bulldozer,
Yes.
you made your own points.
Yes, sir.
Which Garima, today I need to tell you that my word is shallow, I am sorry.
Okay, sir.
So, in the sense, you are not updated. Supreme Court has confirmed the constitutional legality of the actions being taken by UP government.
Okay, sir.
This bulldozing.
Okay, sir.
There was a writ that this is misuse of power. Supreme Court studied and ordered, no, we will not intervene. This is an action under the law.
And the statement I mentioned was about a year back. So idea was to understand whether current position you are aware of.
And all you said is, in addition, I mean, I will not repeat that it's a biting word, but shallow, I'm sorry, it's a biting word.
Yes.
Your answer shows that whatever you said, okay, is exactly what media has been saying.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So the critical thinking, this is standard. Media is doing a disservice to the country, not stating facts clearly.
Yes.
So media builds this general impression that, come on, Yogi Adityanath is deliberately taking anti-Muslim steps. That is the whole goal. And look here, bulldozer. Look here, Atiq Ahmed's house is destroyed. Look here, the guarantor for Atiq Ahmed is destroyed. This is all misleading.
Yes, sir.
So only the news. Probably you are regularly reading newspapers.
Yes, sir.
Probably Hindu and Indian Express only.
Yes, sir.
Because it is their editorial line. These guys
Yes,
are
sir.
not telling the truth.
Yes, sir.
There are one or two issues. If time permits, I am going to touch upon them. If time permits. Your answer to, if you are DM in Assam,
Yes, sir.
you finally stated you would stop child marriages. That shows clarity. That shows you have understood the issue. That shows clarity. And in the interview also such questions will come. Like GS4.
Yes, sir.
So you have already handled GS4. But like your DM, will you stop the child marriages or not? Voidable, void, etc. But as DM, your answer, you will stop, was the right one. 27th of March
Yes, sir.
is the day Mission Shakti was carried out.
Okay, sir.
It is India's anti-satellite test.
Okay.
Missile, anti-satellite missile was successfully tested on March 27, 2019.
Okay, sir.
The name for that is Mission Shakti. And your interview is on 27th of March.
Yes, sir.
So, it may or it may not come up, but it may.
Yes, sir.
On 27th, 33 interviews are scheduled.
Yes, sir.
And it's not like UPSC panel is going to keep asking the same question to
Yeah.
all
Everyone.
33 but with someone.
Yes, sir.
And we never know whether that someone will be you.
Yes, sir.
But we need to be prepared about them. And then it will not remain restricted only to the anti-satellite test. This could mean discussion on India's space program, in the past, in the future, comparison with some other countries. China similarly has displayed the capacity for anti-satellite. This one America has. There is a outer space treaty
Yes, sir.
which declares space as weapons free. Space is not to be used for war purposes.
Yes, sir.
But whether weaponization has already begun, so on and so forth.
Yes, sir.
So 27th. Then even for that question on Jhumka, I am not sure you got the reference. Did you? Jhumka in Bareilly.
Yes, sir, it was inaugurated.
What is so much about Jhumka?
Sir, Bollywood reference was there in Jhumka.
झुमका की रारे बरेली
Bareilly
के
ke
बाजार
bazaar
में.
mein.
Yeah.
Why are you giving hints?
No, she's
Sir, I was sure, like, it was mentioned in a
Didn't
song.
come out in the discussion.
Oh, I should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. What is the otherwise? What is that significance?
Okay, okay.
This all-time great song.
Yes, sir.
Personally, I would say, for God's sake, don't call it Bollywood.
Okay.
My personal opinion.
Okay.
You are entitled to have your own opinion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all-time great song, Jhumka gira re Bareilly ke bazaar mein.
Yes,
But
sir.
have you heard it?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard this
Yes, sir.
song?
Yes, sir.
This is also be seen. Now there is a memorial in
Yeah.
memorial for Jhumka. You know that?
Yes, sir. It was recently. Yes, sir. I'll have.
Okay. Carry on.
Then brushing up on current issues for UP, we touched some of them. You are stating UP as home state,
Yes, sir.
so some questions on UP. And similarly cereals.
Yes, sir.
And it so happens that Narula's is so famous in the food industry
Yes, sir.
that who knows, some panel member may want to also discuss.
Yeah,
Yes.
you never know.
Yeah, Narula's.
It was an icon of Delhi once upon a
Yes.
time.
Yes, sir.
Now let us try to touch upon some points even as we are aware of the time.
Yes, sir.
One of your statement is gender equality on all terms.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So men should start getting pregnant.
It cannot happen.
But why not gender equality on all terms?
Sir, because it is a biological process and gender is a social norm.
So there is some biological difference,
Yes, sir.
and that difference will derive one's own role and function in the society.
Yes, sir.
This is US, the latest ideological trends in America, which we follow blindly, I am saying,
Yes, sir.
they don't agree to this. This comes from gender equality on all terms,
Yes, sir.
that all human beings are equal, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
In America, the guys are going to the extent of having separate toilets as gender discrimination.
Yes, sir.
And if the way we are following the West, very soon that discussion will come up here.
No, it has already started. I went to a restaurant in South Delhi, Jagannath. It's a very famous one, and basically I was searching for a restroom and thinking which one it is. So, it was written neutral.
Okay.
They have started, already, unisex or neutral, toilets.
Or think of institutions like live-in, same-sex marriages, all fine, I am saying. Every human being deserves dignity.
Yes, sir.
Huh? What is the extent of live-in relationships in India?
So same-sex marriages is not allowed.
You are not listening as usual.
Sorry, sir. Sir, it has been legitimized in many of the
What is the extent?
extent of living.
How many as compared to total marriages in the country?
So very few.
0.0000001%.
Yes, sir.
But in public life, that is being discussed as if that is the most primary issue, social issue of social justice. Who is setting agenda for us?
So media.
And if ever you have studied Indian heritage, take the rights of transgenders, for example.
Yes, sir.
Has India not always honored transgenders?
It has.
Do we need the West to blindly follow? They begin to teach us, tell us.
Yes, sir.
Transgenders have always been treated as human beings in Indian civilization, deserving respect, and on festivals they have their special
Yes, sir.
My point is actually, apart from, if I can go deeper, we may not have time for that.
Yes, sir.
The West is setting agenda and we are blindly following it,
Yes.
without even applying our independent mind about what are the issues, etc.
Yes, sir.
So while there are many, I will restrain myself and just talk of one point.
Yes, sir.
is marriage an individual action or a social occasion?
Sir, it is a social occasion.
It is, right?
Yes, sir.
So, actually given, I mean, wherever I am explaining, conducting a session, etc., of late I have begun to describe that individualism has gone berserk.
Yes, sir.
Tailspin is my word, gone completely out of this thing. And now the public discussion are happening as if marriage is something bad, marriage is patriarchy, marriage is woman's slavery. So, the woman's liberation is in live-in relationship. So, okay, live in and get killed any day you want. Who is to think about kids? Is it not the responsibility of parents?
Yes, sir.
Or you and I find it convenient, so we will stay together, and one day I do not agree, so I will walk out. Society will pay price within next 7 generations, mind you. That is what Indian heritage has always considered, impact on coming 7 generations. बच्चे की परवरिश करना है,
Yes,
माँ और पिताजी दोनों की जरूरत नहीं है बच्चे को अच्छी परवरिश के लिए.
जरूरत है.
Yeah, you mark my words, the Western society is going to pay the price in coming time, and it has already started.
Yes, sir.
You have heard of Francis Fukuyama?
Yes, sir.
He is a major American sociologist who has written a full book on how social institutions are collapsing in America.
Yes, sir.
60% of the marriages break,
Yes, sir.
66% of the new births are outside wedlock.
Yes, sir.
How will those kids be brought up?
Yes, sir.
It's not just emotional point,
Yes, sir.
that the kids need unconditional love
Yes, sir.
and security, though 2 words.
Yes, sir.
That is what the family provides.
Yes, sir.
So, as if this is only individual choice, man. 2 individuals decide to stay together. So, so who is to take care later on?
Sir, yes, sir.
So, I mean, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Because when you go to the interview panel, they are not looking for any standard right or ideal answer.
Yes, sir.
But whatever you say,
You are thinking.
it should be a well considered, thought out thing,
Yes, sir.
and you should have studied the pros and cons of it.
Yes, sir.
That's all we urge.
Yes, sir.
So that will show you in much better light as a potential officer.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yeah, yeah. So, now to the best of our judgment, the interview as it happened today will take you to around or slightly beyond, say, 161. I will tell you what it means.
Yes, sir.
We know that a good interview with UPSC starts at 160. So, it is good.
Yes.
1 or 2 points beyond good. But the whole purpose of mock interview is for you to go from here to now 200 or even beyond 200
Yes.
on 27th of March.
Yes.
That is the whole purpose. And that happens,
Yes, sir.
we are going to be more happy than you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anything you want to ask?
Sir, one thing. Do I have enough time to like cover
Of course,
up?
more than enough. 27th of March. You have ample time.
Okay, sir.
Absolutely ample time.
5 days are enough after a
No, 5 you are saying? My calculation is 48 hours.
48
That you give. That is, and 48 is like optimum. So, if interview takes place on 4th of March and let's imagine your interview were on 7th of March. You are fine. 2 days to work on oneself.
Yes, sir.
You have 21 days to work on yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ample time.
Rather, apart from preparation, you have time for a ice cream soda from Narula.
Yes. Yes. Sir, one more thing, sir, about English literature.
Yeah.
Sir, how should I go for it? Like, it is the entire curriculum. So, I'll have to prepare everything on that.
Major schools,
Yes, sir.
you should know.
Yeah.
Major poets and authors, you should know. There was a question asked last year on why did Jonathan Swift use satire
Wow.
to convey social causes.
I am not seeing
Those are the
recognition.
kind of questions which I have asked.
Okay.
I'm not seeing recognition on your face.
Yes, sir. He has used.
Huh?
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, sir.
No.
That was asked.
Who is Jonathan Swift?
Sir, he is the writer who has written Gulliver Travels.
Right, okay. Because the questions may follow.
Yes, sir.
Right? Yes, Garima, all the very best. These are notes by the panel members for you.
Okay, sir.
Prepare at that level.
Thank you, sir.
Keep in touch.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
all
you.
the best.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless.
Thank you.
Keep brushing up.